From breeding to paleobotany, and even a new surprise species, this month's Dev Diary is loaded to the brim with new features and content. So let's cover everything you need to know about Update 15 coming later this year. Before we dive into the details, Prehistoric Kingdom is currently 30% off on Steam. If you've been wanting to pick up this game for a while, now is the perfect time to do so. The devs have said that once it leaves early access, the price is probably going to go up. So this might be your best chance to grab it at a discount, and honestly, I think it's absolutely worth it. Starting us off with the biggest surprise of this Dev Diary, breeding is finally coming to Prehistoric Kingdom. This was a feature originally slated for later in development, but the devs decided since people loved baby dinosaurs so much that they'd go ahead and bring it to the game now. This is a huge step forward in social behaviors for dinosaurs, as before dinosaurs would just eat, sleep, and drink. Obviously before, adults would adopt babies, but this is a huge step forward in just making our animals feel more real in our parks. So a new trait that the animals will carry now that breeding is in the game is fertility. And fertility is going to impact how many offspring an animal can potentially have. It seems like if you want higher fertility, you're going to have to do realistic growth speed, while fast growth is going to make it a lower fertility. And it also seems animals that start younger with a lower maturity will also have a higher fertility upon reaching adulthood. Breeding also means we'll have breeding seasons and courtship. So that means each animal will have its own breeding season, as you can see in this image. There's also extra information here such as mating system, parenting, clutch cohesion, and clutch size. Courting is also coming to the game, and depending on the species, they'll be able to impress a mate through various means. And we got an adorable video of a Lealnosaura trying to impress a mate here, so that looks really adorable. Now, in order for your animals to actually breed, you're going to have to place these new nesting spots. And this way you can actually control if your animals breed or not, because if you don't place them, your animals won't end up breeding. Now, different species are going to require different sized nests. But once the animals actually claim a nest, it'll actually be built into the nest specific to that species. So here we see a Triceratops with a more mound-shaped nest, while the Velociraptor has this crater-shaped nest that's more common for smaller theropods. And as we'll see later, the devs did a crazy job making sure there's a crazy amount of variety of nest shapes and sizes. We also get a video of a T-Rex digging a nest here to demonstrate how they build these nests. I also think it'd be really cool if this animation could be played randomly as an idle animation, since it kind of could be a generic digging animation if you look at it. We also got concept art of the UI for the nests. And as you can see, we'll be able to selectively choose which animals are allowed to use what nests. This way we can make different nest sites for different animals and enclosures. Now once a nest has been fully built up, eggs will appear. And each egg will now have a health bar that must be tended to by its parents. In the future, your veterinarian staff will be able to also tend for eggs, so that's going to be a really cool update in the future. I also think it'd be super cool if some species with less parental instinct abandon their eggs, and the vets would have to fully care for your babies. It could lead to an interesting challenge in my opinion. Birthing beds also work similarly, except unlike dinosaurs, mammals are less likely to lose their offspring. At the end of their incubation period, the mother will rest and deliver her babies on the birthing bed. Now I think the baby cave bears in the game are some of the cutest babies out of all of the species, so it's really cool to see them here, and they're just adorable. Now there's a ton of frequently asked questions on the Dev Diary, so I'm just going to go through some of those really fast. Why did you go with placeable nests and birthing beds? So compared to other options they thought of, placeable nests had the best pros overall. These placeable nests give players control of where the animals are actually building nests, so that the nests don't end up in front of something important or block paths. What happens when animals with two different skins breed? Each baby will be assigned a random skin from their mother or father. I think it's a really smart way of handling it. Will animals fight over nests? Fighting is not yet in the game, but the devs did confirm females may fight over nesting spots, especially in competitive species. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the questions, but there are a few others on there that are more technical, so if you want to check those out or are interested in it, go ahead and check out the Dev Diary, it's linked below. So like I said earlier, we're going to look at the nests now, and the range in which these nests can be formed are so amazing and there's such variety that it's just incredible to look at. Here we see a Plateosaurus, and it's kind of a half mound, but not quite a super steep mound style of nest, and it just looks super good. So we also get a video of a dev playing around with the nest system. So you can see here, it looks like a crater. You can bring that down and bring up the mound, or you can do a bit of a mix of the two. There's also a ton of texture variety, so you can have different substrates, rocks, more gravel looking textures. You also have sandy textures, things like that. It's just super good looking. Now some look a little strange, but I think that's just because they're meant to be on mounds or craters and they're on the opposite kind, but that's fine. You can also add eggs, so that's super cool. There you see a huge clutch, and the more sloped it is, the more buried they are. So overall, tons of variety here. You also have different egg shapes and types. So obviously you have your standard supermarket egg shape, But then you also have round eggs and elongated eggs, and you even have these soft shell eggs that kind of remind me of snake eggs. That's just a super cool feature. And then we also have this image showing some of those different egg types in different nests. I really like the blue eggs that are in pairs surrounding the nest because that's something you see directly in the fossil record, and it's just so cool to see recreated in Prehistoric Kingdom. So now we have the baby Gallimimus, which we were actually expecting for this update, unlike breeding. So here we have a picture that's actually been shared already on social media of the baby Gallimimus, and it is adorable, as is usual for most of the species. And I'm just in love with this model. They are so cute. They remind me of baby ostriches, and they're just adorable. We also have this picture of one with their mother, or not one, a few with their mother, and it's just incredible, and they look great in their environment. And we also get this ontogeny here. And this is just something that we've come to expect for every new animal now that this system's in the game, but it's just great to see, and it's, as always, super smooth, super awesome. Also, this is just my favorite skin, hands down, for the Galley. I'm such a fan of it, and that might be my Prehistoric Park bias talking, but it just looked great, and has the blue face, so... We also get this side-by-side comparison of the demo Gallimimus baby compared to the modern one, and it's just incredible to see these two beside each other. If you've been following the game for a long time, this is really a full circle moment because it's just incredible how much has gone into this game and how much love and how much improvement over these few years. Well, I say few years, but actually it was like 2017, but still, it's just incredible to see if you've been following this game for a long time, and yeah. The next thing the devs have showcased is the ground texture update, and this was actually shown on the Patreon a while back, but it just is a new texture for a lot of the biome's grasses, so we have a broader variety. This may mean that you have to go back and repaint some of your textures, but I think it's worth it for these new awesome textures. Now on to the Mesozoic Environments, which is a big part of the new update. So the first thing we see here is this map showing some of the new formations added in Update 15. To keep things readable, the team had to change the icons of Cenozoic and Mesozoic formations, and they also added in the new plant formations. I'm not much of a challenge player, so I don't see this screen often, but I think it's super cool that they're adding on to it, and I'm sure people are going to enjoy it. Now, the Mesozoic Boreal is one of these last few biomes that we haven't actually seen yet, so this is our first look at it, and it looks incredible. There are two new plants, one tree, which is really beautiful. It looks very gorgeous. And we also have a smaller fern-like covering called Aculia, which is going to be really nice to use. This really does make me want to make a colder park. So our next biome is actually the desert, and it also only has two plants, but these look really good as well. You have this, Welwitschiophilum, I think is the name, how you pronounce it. It's a really big word, but this one looks really good. And then we also have these shrubby, tree, bush kind of plants that look really versatile. So those are going to look awesome in our park. Our third biome is the grassland biome, and obviously there's no real grasses in the Mesozoic up until the Cretaceous, as the devs stated. So instead, the devs decided to use plants that fill a similar niche to grass and also look kind of grassy. So we have several types of ferns and this one schizo plant. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's like Schizoapis. I don't know, but it's a kind of funny name. But these are going to look great in our parks, just like all the other plants coming. And the variety is just fantastic. So last, but certainly not least, is the Mesozoic wetland. And this one has 8 new species, so there is a huge variety going on. You have forests and marshes and aquatic plants coming, and all of them look great. It's also really great to have these aquatic plants because a lot of people so far use clover as a stand-in, but having these real plants is going to make it even better in our habitats. And as you can see here, there's actually a mask which allows you to paint these on top of the water, and it won't paint any trees or anything. It'll only paint the water plants, and this is so great because a lot of times when you're painting around water, it kind of gets hard to keep the trees out. You have to very manually do it. So if one surprise wasn't enough, we're also getting a new species in Update 15 alongside breeding, and what better fitting animal than Oviraptor? Now these are some really great designs. I especially love the orange and browns. It just looks so bird-like, and it's just a fantastic design. Obviously they don't have the exaggerated crests you see in a lot of Oviraptor designs. Those are more based off of a different species. But knowing Prehistoric Kingdom, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we get some different crest shapes on the other skins, or at least some different plumages. So be on the lookout for that because I'm sure some new updates on the Oviraptor will be coming soon. So finally, let's check out some of the community spotlights. And starting off, we have a amazingly painted Acrocanthosaurus. The PK community is so talented, and there's so many talented people in there. This is just an incredible painting. I love this. It looks so great. Next up, we have this awesome picture of a woolly rhino with spears in its side. And I actually saw this on the PK's Discord, and it's just such a great composition, so beautiful. Well, kind of sad, but it's also really cute that it's defending its babies, I guess, which is, I don't know, it's just a really cool picture. I really enjoyed this one. And then finally, we have this really cool build here, kind of a cliffside viewing area. I'm not sure what animal it's supposed to be. I think if I look closely, maybe it's like a Spinosaurus, maybe? I'm not sure. But I mean, the stairs in the side of the cliff are just so beautiful, and it kind of gives me Jurassic Park vibes with like the thatched roofs. It's just a great build. So that's it for this month's dev diary. It was a really big one, lots of surprises. As usual, I just want to plug the Patreon for Prehistoric Kingdom, and this is a great way to support the team. And even with the cheapest donation amount, you can still get access to the behind the scenes Patreon dev blogs. And there's information on there that still isn't in the dev diary. But if I told you, they'd probably strike me down. So you're gonna have to check it out yourself if you want to see that. But that's gonna do it for today, guys. I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and comment, as it lets me know you enjoy the videos. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.